Y'all, I had the weirdest dream. Now I didn't woke up. I didn't actually got a little active. I wasn't up, but I was up enough to post that premiere video talking about Deb's birthday celebration tonight. So I was up, but I lay back down and I dozed off with the phone in my hand. I don't know why I had this weird dream, y'all. It let me talk about it real quick for the little bit I do remember leaves in my memory. I was in my kitchen, right? And it seemed like one of the girls was in the kitchen with me, and I was doing some type of food prep. I was doing something with some food because I was facing the countertop right next to the stove where I plugged my phones at. And then I turned to my right, to my left, where the door is, where you come in, and there was a table there. Okay. And Skinbone, the Chicago comedian, TikTok famous, social media, Skinbone, he was sitting at the table. And I kind of looked or whatever, and I kept doing what I was doing. Then I kind of like realized who he was, and I went over to him like, hey, I love your content. And he looked at me like he was just a shell, like he wasn't even a real person. Like he didn't really even respond though. The next thing I know, I go back to my food prep or whatever I was doing over there at that counter. And I realized the part of that counter that I was cutting on or doing whatever, it was off the wall. Okay. Then I looked to the left and that little brown table that I got on the wall with all my little stuff on it, it was off the wall. And then I looked, the stove was off the wall. It was like things was like turned at like a 45-degree angle or something. Like it was just taken off the wall, like something moved it. And that's when the feeling came over me like something, entity has moved your stuff. Like why would all your stuff be on the wall? Like it's made on the wall. It's not like I pushed it on the wall. That stuff is made, glued like to the wall, so to speak. The stove was pushed in there. I'm sure if you had to replace it, yeah, you could pull it out. But you know what I mean? It's like pushed in this slot. The table, not, I just pushed it against the wall, but everything was like turned on an angle. And then I kind of bagged back and came back in the front room. Next thing you know, I seen some man. I don't know if he was made of all black. And it's like he was piercing, his piercing look at me. And it made me feel vulnerable and attacked and like he was like taking over me. And at one point in the dream, he actually grabbed me like, and I was like, get off me, bitch. You know, or something like that. I had like, I was trying to, but I couldn't. I was like under paralysis. Like y'all know that witch riding your back type of shit feeling. That's what it felt like. Even though I was woke, I was clearly woke and moving. The next thing you know, I go to the bed. I don't remember going to the back or nothing. I don't know if that was even my room, but I looked at the bed, and it's not my bed because we ain't even got them type of sheets, but the sheet was like white with different designs in it, but it was a big black footprint on it, like somebody's shoe. And that's when I realized, then I turned, and it's like that same entity man was there, and it was like, oh my God. So next thing you know how dreams are, you do this and it fade out, and then you somewhere else, and then this how this dream was. So after that part, and I might not play them all in the right order, I'm trying to go by memory. Next thing you know, that entity man or whatever had a knife. Now let me back up. I went to the daycare center to do what? I don't know. I wasn't picking up no keys. I went in that building and I seen a young lady, maybe like a 15-year-old, 14-year-old girl carrying a baby. And like her father or uncle, whoever he was behind her saying something to her. So she kind of waited for him and then left out. And I kept walking. So I don't know then, that's when I seen the footprint or whatever. But anyway, the entity man, and he had like a Jeepers Creeper look to his ass. I can't remember the face either. But he had a knife, and it's like he was stabbing me. He was getting ready to stab me. But next thing you know, the knife is in my hand, and I start stabbing the pillows on the couch. Or on a couch, not necessarily this couch. Then some woman comes, like she was leaving the house, like she lived here. She had on a coat, like winter coat. She had big hair. She was like in her late 40s maybe. And she was like, get ready to leave. She had like shopping bags full of food, like real bags, not plastic. And then she was like talking. I don't know if she was talking to me or she had an earpiece in. So she sits on the floor, a little smirky smile on her face. And she was saying something to me. I don't know if she was saying cab or car or whatever. I couldn't, it was so low. And then next thing you know, I heard maintenance knocking on the door. It was next door. The maintenance people came. Then they ended up coming over here too. Yeah, I ain't like that shit. Because as I'm laying there dreaming, I'm actually dreaming. It's like that stuff that happened with the wall and everything I just described to y'all. As that was happening, it was like I was actually dreaming about something else, and it was dark, and it was this, and it was whatever it was, floating and dark and floating things, color, circles. You know how dreams be. It was as if all that stuff I described was real, but actually it wasn't, because I was dreaming about what I just told you about the dark and the float. All the while I'm laying here, and I peep open, and I can't really move, and I peep open, and I see Mahari on the floor, laying on one of the pillows. So I'm like, all this stuff happening around me, and I finally get up. Mahari ain't on no floor, but maintenance at the door. That shit creeped me out, y'all. That shit creeped me out.